Hold on. Did Latto just publicly drag Cardi B on her own retirement album while cradling a newborn baby girl? Y'all, this woman gave birth, dropped a whole project, buried a so-called friend, and posted up with her man's wife and baby mama all in the same week. She didn't just clap back. She obliterated the apology and the apologizer in one verse. And Cardi B? She really thought a public tweet and a I'ma buy her a bag was gonna make this go away. Bro, you woke up and chose the worst possible week to play dumb. Listen, if you here for the real receipts and not that watered-down blog spin, smash that like button and subscribe to Coco and T right now. I'm bringing y'all the messy truth nobody else will say out loud. Let's get into it. Alyssa Stevens, Latto, Big Mama herself, dropped her fourth studio album Big Mama featuring the track Gimme That, with bars aimed directly at Belcalis Almanzo, aka Cardi B. The album hit DSPs on May 29, 2026. The same day Latto sat down with Nadeska Alexis on Apple Music to reveal she officially welcomed a baby girl with Shia bin Abraham Joseph, better known as 21 Savage. Cardi really thought that apology tweet was gonna age well. Spoiler, it didn't. Now let's pull the receipts and watch this whole thing fall apart. Alright, let's start with the bar that has the whole internet pressed. On Gimme That from Big Mama, released May 29, 2026, Latto spits, B.H. said what? Let's clock it. Really got a thought in my closet are talking about buying Big Mama a bag like my NA ain't already bought it or like my NA ain't coming off racks our big bank over here. Big facts, wish a B.H. would get in that booth or I'm calling up Playboy Maximum. When I heard that wish a B.H. would get in that booth line, I had to rewind it 3 times. 3. Because that ain't subliminal. That's a full-blown invitation to a fistfight on wax. Now let's rewind to what started all this. In the leaked audio that surfaced earlier this year, Cardi B was caught screaming during a phone rant with Ice Spice's manager, saying word for word, I ain't P.Y.A. Latto. I'm not Latto. I'm a beat her the F. K up. I'm a knock her the F. K out. Bro said what? That's the dumbest flex I've ever heard from somebody who claimed Latto was her friend. Like, you a whole Grammy winner threatening to swing on a girl who you collab with on Put It On DA Floor Again remix? Be for real. Then after the audio leaked and the whole internet dragged her, Cardi hopped on X, formerly Twitter, and posted, I was ranting and hot in the moment, but I F with Lat heavy. I respect everything about her, including her team. And nope, I'm not too prideful to apologize to somebody I really respect. So this is my public apology. And now I'm a probably buy her a bag. Nah, that I'm a probably buy her a bag part? That's where she lost the whole plot. You don't apologize and then turn it into a transaction in the same breath. When I read that, I was like, is she serious? That ain't an apology, that's a receipt for damage control. Now here's where it gets juicy. In her Apple Music interview with Nadeska Alexis on May 29, 2026, Latto said about the baby, my baby was very much planned. I just don't know if I was committed to the plan. We looked down and I just was like, oh. And there were tears. Y'all, she's glowing. That ain't a stressed woman. That's a woman who got everything she wanted on the same day she ended a beef. And on the postpartum part, Latto explained on Apple Music that the whole I'm retiring after this album tweet wasn't really retirement. It was postpartum depression talking. She said she has good days and bad days, but pretty much walked the retirement thing back. Look, that's a vulnerable moment and I respect it. But Cardi was still out here throwing rocks at her while she was pregnant and dealing with that? Yeah, that don't sit right with me at all. XXL. Now that we got the quotes locked in, let's connect the dots that nobody else is connecting. Alright, watch the timing on this carefully. The leaked Cardi rant surfaced months before the album. The public apology tweet came right after, while Latto was visibly pregnant. The Big Mama album rollout? Quiet. Quick. Almost no promo. Then BAM, May 29th drops the album and the baby reveal and the diss all in one news cycle. That ain't a coincidence, brew. That's a chess move. Latto sat on this bar for months and waited until she had the entire culture's attention on one day. Now here's what people overlooked. That apology? Dropped at the height of the news cycle on a single tweet. No phone call. No DM. No private convo first. Real talk. If Cardi had Latto's number, why was the apology public? The answer is simple. It wasn't for Latto. It was for Cardi's PR team. And Latto clocked it. She didn't post a reply. She didn't accept it on camera. She didn't post a thank you. She just cooked in silence and served it on her album. The Atlanta show? Cardi performed in Latto's hometown. Latto was nowhere to be found. But here's what you'll missed. Latto was still performing locally that same window, jumping out on stage with Mariah the Scientist. So the excuse of she was busy doesn't fly. She chose not to show up. That's the move of someone who never accepted that apology in the first place. Cardi really thought everything was good. It wasn't. It never was. And the bigger context most blogs are skipping. Latto and Cardi share an Atlantic Records ecosystem connection, both rooted in that major label machine. Latto basically confirmed on her interview this is her last album with her current deal. So she's burning bridges on the way out the door. That's why this bar hit so different. She got nothing to lose. Bro, when somebody's contract is up and they just had a baby and they got 21 Savage's backup, that ain't an OPP you want. Cardi picked the wrong week, the wrong woman, and the wrong era to fake a friendship. Let me zoom in on something nobody's catching. That phrase talking about buying Big Mama a bag. One word in there is doing all the heavy lifting. Talking. Not try to, not offer to. Talking. Latto is mocking the fact that it was just talk. The apology was words. The bag never actually got delivered. That's the whole point of the bar. She's calling out the empty promise. Cardi really thought a tweet was currency. Embarrassing. Now check this out. The line I'm calling up Playboy Maximum. Playboy Max is one of her newer producers in the Atlanta circuit. That ain't a random name drop. That's her saying, I got my OWN team, my OWN producers, my OWN bag. I don't need your charity, sis. She's flexing self-sufficiency right after dismissing the bag offer. If Cardi had half a brain, she would have caught that this whole bar is structured like a court rebuttal. Receipt by receipt. Cardi's writers ain't coming up with bars layered like this, and that's why Get in That Booth hit so hard. The wish A B H would get in that booth line is doing TWO things at once. Surface level, it's a fight challenge, try me. But under that, it's a credibility shot. Cardi's been clowned for years over ghostwriter rumors. Her last live freestyle, people dragged her for weeks. So when Latto says get in that booth, she ain't just challenging her to respond. She's challenging her to prove she can actually rap without a team writing for her. That's a surgical diss. 2 shots in 7 words. And nobody's talking about the album title working as a diss layer. Big Mama. Cardi spent that whole rant calling Latto out her name. Latto's response? Don't argue. Just upgrade your title. From the nickname Cardi tried to use as an insult, to Big Mama, wife status, mother status, boss status. The whole album cover is her pregnant in a fur, glowing. That psychological warfare disguised as a project rollout. Cardi tried to make her small. Latto made herself a mountain. Now let's see how the media played this. Billboard framed it as fans dissecting the bars, hedging on whether the diss is real, classic Billboard fence-sitting. They quoted the apology in full, and left it to readers to decide. That's safe blog writing. They know what it is, they just won't say it. XXL went further. They called it a challenge outright. Headline reads Latto appears to challenge Cardi B to get in the booth. That's the most honest framing of any major outlet so far. They connected the dots between the leaked phone call and the bars without doing all that allegedly maybe possibly tap dancing. TMZ kept it surface level, calling it shade. Cute. That's not shade, that's a full body shot. TMZ does this every time when one of the parties has a powerful PR team. They soften the language. Don't fall for the spin. Now the counter-narrative. Some Cardi stans on X are claiming Latto is reaching, and that the bars could be about anybody. Some are even saying Latto broke girl code by responding after Cardi already apologized. Nah, those are the same people who thought the bag tweet was a real apology. If you genuinely respected somebody, you'd call them. You wouldn't tweet at them like it's a press release. Cardi's defenders are reaching because the receipts don't lie. The booth line ain't going to nobody else's address but Belcalis's. But here's what nobody is saying. Something about this whole situation feels OFF in a way the blogs ain't ready to talk about. This ain't really a Cardi versus Latto beef. This is a calculated industry exit strategy disguised as a diss. Real talk. Think about it. Latto just confirmed on Apple Music this is her last album with her current label situation. She's pregnant. She just had the baby. She's about to be a free agent. What's the fastest way to leave a label with maximum leverage and maximum cultural buzz? Drop a project that goes viral on day one. And what makes a female rap album go viral overnight in 2026? A beef buy at the biggest female rapper in the game. That's the play. Latto is playing chess, Cardi is playing checkers, and the label is just trying not to get knocked over. This isn't about talent. It's about who the industry wants to win. For years, Atlantic and the major label machine have prioritized Cardi as the main female rap export, while Latto, despite multiple platinum hits and a Grammy nomination, gets a fraction of the rollout budget. We literally saw it with Sugar Honey Iced Tea. She wrapped the car herself. She did her own promo runs. Meanwhile, Cardi gets stadium-level marketing for an album that took how many years? Latto is a puppet no more. She finally said, "You know what? I'm out. And on the way out, I'm taking my flowers and my OPP down with me." That's how grown women in this industry operate. Here's the historical pattern you'll need to peep. This is the exact same playbook used against Remy Ma when Nicki Minaj was the queen. The same script used against Foxy Brown back in the day. The same blueprint Cardi herself used to come up. The industry historically only lets one woman shine at a time, and they pit them against each other to manufacture engagement. The difference now? Latto saw the trap and flipped it. She ain't beefing for relevance. She beefing for leverage. Cardi is repeating the same mistakes that hurt every queen before her, getting too comfortable, too loud behind closed doors, too sure that nobody would clap back. And on a cultural level, you'll need to understand what's really happening. The era of the one female rapper gatekeeper model is dead. Gone. Buried. We got Glow, Sexy, Latto, Dokiai, Sukahana, Megan, Ice. The whole class is winning and nobody's asking permission. Cardi represents the old guard that thought she could call girls out their name behind the scenes and still walk into rooms like everything was sweet. Nah, sis. The culture moved on. The new generation talks back. Latto just proved you can take an L and a baby and a #1 album in the same week. Cardi's whole brand was built on being the loudest girl in the room. What happens when the room don't care anymore? The psychological warfare part is what really gets me though. Latto didn't release a diss track. She released Bob buried in a love song about her family. That's masterclass level restraint. She made the diss the footnote of her glow up. That's worse than a full track because now Cardi can't even respond with a diss record without looking obsessed. If Cardi goes back at her, she looks insecure swinging at a new mom. If he doesn't respond, she looks like she accepted the L. Latto trapped her in a no-win box and barely lifted a finger doing it. That's the move of somebody who's been planning this for months. And the authenticity question is the elephant in the room. Cardi's biggest weakness has always been the writing credit conversation. Latto knows this. The "get in that booth" line wasn't just a fight invitation, it was a credibility assassination. Because Latto writes her own bars. Period. Her catalog proves it. Cardi's whole rap persona is partly manufactured, and the booth line exposed the seam. That's why Cardi went radio silent after the album dropped. She can't respond on wax without proving the original point. Checkmate. And that's the real story they won't tell you on TMZ. Watch the next 30 days carefully. The pattern is already obvious. Cardi is gonna stay quiet on the rap response, but you best believe she's gonna pop off on Instagram live in some off-the-cuff rant that just happens to be filmed in perfect HD. That's her move. Always has been. When she can't out-rap somebody, she out-screams them. But the problem is, the culture done seen that script too many times. It's gonna land flat, and she gonna realize too late that the only response that mattered was the one she couldn't give. If Cardi does try to slide a bar into one of her upcoming singles, and we all know she got music coming, Latto will not even acknowledge it. She'll be too busy on tour with the baby, posting wholesome content with 21 and the kids, building the Big Mama brand into a wellness family empire. Watch. 6 months from now, Latto's headlines will be about brand deals, baby fashion, and tour numbers. Cardi's headlines will still be about Instagram rants. Two completely different lanes. And the culture is gonna pick the lane that ain't screaming. Nah, this is about to go left for Cardi in a way nobody's predicting. She's gonna try to escalate, because that's all she knows, and she's gonna end up looking desperate swinging at a woman who's literally holding a newborn. The optics are terrible. There's no version of this where Cardi comes out looking like the bigger person at this point. She had the chance to call privately and didn't. She had the chance to skip the bag joke and didn't. Every door she had to look mature, she slammed on her own foot. Watch the silence right now. Everything feels calm. Cardi hasn't said a word since the album dropped. That's the dangerous part. Because either she's cooking something stupid behind the scenes, or she finally realized she can't win this one. Either way, the next move is gonna be a disaster. Smart advisors would tell her to congratulate Latto publicly on the baby and let the news cycle bury it. But Cardi ain't built like that. She gonna do something. And whatever it is, it's gonna age terribly. And here's the wild card. 21 Savage. Don't sleep on this. 21 is one of the most respected, low-key, but deeply connected dudes in Atlanta hip-hop. He's tight with Drake, with Metro, with the whole new Atlanta wave. If anybody steps to his family, that's not just a Latto problem. That's an ATL problem. Cardi's New York. Latto's Atlanta. The regional politics alone make this a no-fly zone for Cardi if she's smart. But again, is she gonna be smart? History says no. Long term, this is gonna be the moment everyone remembers as when Latto fully graduated from Cardi's lil sis to her own lane. 5 years from now, when we look back at female rap in the late 2020s, this album cycle is gonna be the inflection point. The week Latto became a mother, dropped her best body of work, and quietly replaced the woman who tried to belittle her. That's a legacy moment. Cardi is watching the culture move on without her in real time, and there's not a tweet, not a bag, not an apology that can stop the shift. Whatever happens next, Cardi already lost. Y'all, I'm telling you, this Big Mama era is just getting started, and I got a feeling we ain't even seen the messiest part yet. Something tells me Cardi's people are typing up a response as we speak, and when it drops, I'm gonna be the first one bringing y'all the breakdown. So do me a favor right now. If you ain't subscribed to Coco and T, what are you doing with your life? Hit that subscribe, slap that like button, and drop in the comments, do you think Latto went too easy on Cardi, or was that bar enough? You think this is gonna escalate or fizzle out? Talk to me, I talk back. And if you see some tea, send it to me at Coco and T on Instagram. I see y'all in the next one. And by the way, tomorrow we're dropping something wild about a certain New York rapper's response that's already leaking behind the scenes. You do not want to miss that. Bye.